Senator Collins, thanks for joining us. Yesterday, you gave a legal and constitutional rationale for your vote, but ultimately, isn't this a vote of conscience for you?
It is. I felt that the president was wrong to have made the request of a foreign power to investigate a political rival, even though he mentioned other issues and had been concerned about corruption. But I thought that was wrong. In the end, I had to weigh the evidence and whether or not it reached the very high bar that was established in the Constitution, and I concluded that it did not. It was very similar to the decision that I made in 1999 when I voted to acquit President Clinton. In both cases, I did what I felt was right.
You said yesterday that you think that President Trump may have learned from this process, that he was already punished, impeached, but that was the House's punishment. In some way, shouldn't the Senate punish or even censure President Trump?
President Trump was not only impeached, but he was subjected to pretty severe criticism by both Democratic and Republican senators, including myself. I said that his conversation was wrong, that it was improper, that he should not have asked a foreign power to investigate a political rival. And that was echoed by many of my colleagues on the Republican side of the aisle. So I believe that this is a pretty strong rebuke or reprimand of the president for his action, and I hope that he will learn from it.
In 2016, you declared candidate Trump unfit to hold the presidency. Has your opinion changed?
Well, what happened since 2016 is Donald Trump got elected as president. And I've worked with many presidents and on different policies. And as with previous presidents, with President Trump, I support him when I think he's right, and I oppose him when I think he's wrong. I opposed his attempts to repeal the Affordable Care Act, for example. I opposed his attempt to divert money for essential military construction projects to build a border wall, despite my belief that we do need stronger border security. But I did not feel he had that authority. So the difference is he became president, and I believe that congressional oversight is very important, and opposing a president when you think he is wrong is significant. But I respect the fact that the voters chose him to be president. And now they're going to have another chance this year to decide what to do at the ballot box. There's no more fundamental part of democracy than letting the people decide who their leaders should be.
In 2016, you told us you didn't vote for President Trump. Do you think you'll vote for him this year?
You know, I'm not going to discuss presidential politics at a time like this. I have announced and explained my decision to the people of the state of Maine that I will be voting to acquit, because I do not think the president, that the House presented a compelling case. But I think now's not the day to discuss partisan political politics, presidential politics.
The person you may face in November, Democrat Sarah Gideon, the Maine State House Speaker, told us today she's disappointed in your decision and she thinks you're on the wrong side of history. Would you care to respond to that?
Well, I don't think that Ms. Gideon has really studied the Federalist Papers, participated in a previous impeachment trial, and looked carefully at the evidence. I certainly respect people who disagree with me, but if you look at the framers' intentions, there's a reason why in our entire history no president has been convicted and removed from office. It is because the framers wisely set the bar for impeachment very high. And to remove a president who is not accused in the articles of impeachment of committing a criminal act. President Clinton was accused of committing 2 criminal acts. That makes that high bar even a higher standard to clear. So we disagree on that issue, as we do on so many others, such as the amount of taxes that low and middle income Americans should pay, support for small business, where I have a lifetime rating of 91%, and Ms. Gideon has a lifetime rating of only 17%. There's so many differences that I think the voters are going to have a very clear choice.
Last question. Can you say which vote was harder for you to wrestle with and ultimately decide? This vote on Trump impeachment or on the Kavanaugh Supreme Court confirmation?
They were both. I haven't really thought about which was more difficult. I think removing a president from office is a more consequential vote. So I guess that's how I would answer that question, because it's overturning an election and preventing the president from appearing on the ballot this fall. So I think it is the more consequential vote because of those reasons.
Well, I'm glad I was able to ask you at least one question you hadn't thought of in advance. Thank you for your time, Senator Collins. We'll see you back in Maine later this week.
Thank you.